Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. In theory, we have steady shot now because the camera's on the stabiliser. It took me a very, very long time to balance that, and the slightest knock and it goes out of balance. And I think I've got it somewhere near it on the grounds that I'm fed up with doing it now, so I thought I'd give it a go. Now in theory I should be able to walk without wobbling around. And also in theory we should be able to get pretty close as far as focusing is concerned because the camera's still now. Oops. I knew that was going to be a problem. You've got to watch the bottom end of the stabiliser doesn't touch anything, so as you're getting close to something it can easily knock. So I'd have to watch that in usage, but yeah, that's pretty close. That's not bad. So I think I've sort of done it, but boy is that fiddly. Very, very fiddly. But it does allow the camera to stay pretty still, which is the objective. Now obviously these stabilisers, most people use them because they walk around filming, which I don't. You know, I move around a bit in here, but I don't walk about a lot. Unless it's one of my field trips, I suppose, where this might come in handy perhaps. But I can't see me using this a huge amount, not really. I mean, you know what I'm like when I'm talking, I do wobble the camera around, so by holding the camera on this thing, I can chat away and the camera doesn't move, which stops people feeling seasick, I suppose. So it would serve a purpose from that point of view. But the other thing is it adds a lot of weight to the camera, probably practically doubles it, because you have to have, the camera has to be counterbalanced. Well, that counterbalance is called weight. So the weight of the camera is probably almost doubled. And I'm holding it in a position that's not comfortable because it's like a grip that's an upright grip, as opposed to threading my hand through a strap and curling my fingers around the top, which is a much, much more comfortable feeling, basically. So I've got it. It costs next to nothing, literally. So it may be of use, and it may allow me to do some close-ups quickly. The problem is, every time you take the camera off, you've lost the balance. But because everything else has been balanced now, the only thing is to screw the camera on and slide it backwards and forwards until it comes into balance, because the weight adjustment and everything else isn't going to change, and the weight of the camera doesn't change. So in theory, you know, I should be able to do close-in shots now without having to get the tripod out. I'd have to get this out instead. You know, I mean, you have to weigh one up against the other, but yeah, I mean that's not bad at all. I certainly wouldn't be able to do that handheld. So it's serving a purpose. I mean that was less than 11 quid, and some swear words setting it up. But you don't have to know about that, do you? Anyway, so there we go. That is it. I will use it on and off now and again, but what is going to be difficult is going up and down a lot. You know, like now I was going to show the Cymbidium bloom, but I'm going to have to go down to do it, and we have a muncher somewhere. We have a muncher. So that's the, see that, you know, the stabiliser just caught on a leaf. That's enough to throw it off. But the Cymbidium is open, but as you can see it's got holes in the petals. So something's munched that. And I assume it's munched it after it opened. But looking at, if you look at that bud, that's got a nick out of it. So I'm not sure what sort of muncher we've got and where it is, but I will come out after dark tonight and see if I can find anything. There's no slime trails going up the stick or the spike. So anyway, we will see if we can hunt it down. And the other thing I've just noticed now, as I've only just come out here, This is where you get a problem. I can't see, to just move the screen is possibly going to throw the camera out of balance. Now, it's not too bad because I need to turn the screen to see what the hell I'm filming. But up here, the Lalia is starting to open. So we should be able to see that soon. It's only just, I mean, you can't see anything yet, not really, but just starting to open. And I think the, whoops, I have to hold the stabiliser to move the screen. It'll take a bit of getting used to. I mean, it's a new gadget. We have to practice, don't we? You know, we have to give it time. But basically, the Twinkle Red Fantasy, those blooms are failing. Now, under normal circumstances, if blooms start to fail, there's a problem with the plant because those blooms haven't been opened a huge amount of time. So I think I'm going to get on and take that off its mount and get it split and get it remounted with some decent moss around the... because as it's aged and it's grown bigger and bigger, it's left the moss behind. So the roots have got hardly any moss to keep any moisture in. So I think it's dehydrating, you know, where it's not getting watered as often during the winter, but it's in full bloom. So we may have a go at that. I might do that in a minute. But yeah, I think I need to get on with that. Oh, something else I'll do. I'll turn this off for a minute because I want a handhold for what I'm going to do next. Right, so that's the results of the comments on the plants to drop in the Oncidium set. Obviously there's an outright winner, which is the Brassia, or should I call it a loser? So we will drop the Brassia, and quite close, the Miltonia Sunset and the Oncidium Twinkle, but the Sunset just about makes it. I'll have a think about that, as to whether that would be a better plant for the project orchids than the actual Twinkle. Because the Twinkle's about to get... The thing is, I will probably split it into pieces and get rid of the old parts and put it back on the same mount. Not on the same mount, but all on one mount. In which case it becomes a single plant and it'll be fine to see how well it grows and everything throughout the season. So I'll probably stick with the vote. We'll drop Brassia, we'll drop Sunset, and we'll introduce the Mexicoa, I think that's what it was called, and take it back up to 6. So I think that's what we'll do with that. Okay, so the next one I'll film is, well, it's either the Dendrobiums or the Cattleyas. I forget which one comes next, and we'll do the same sort of thing again. I'll film, you know, sort of 7 or 8 or 6 or 7, and we'll work out which ones to drop. Right, see you next time.